I'm not going to lie. I want to sometimes look at these articles and be skeptical, but the more and more I hear about Avengers Doomsday, the more excited I get at the prospect that Marvel might actually do this right. Now, I'm not going to make any predictions, and I'm not going to say, excuse me, that they're going to give fans what they want. But man, it seems like, at least with the information that we're getting out, it seems like they're trying. Now, I haven't read this article in advance, but I've been seeing all the videos about Avengers Doomsday. I've been purposely staying away from the videos because I'm like, I'm going to wait till later and figure out what's going on. Anyway, Avengers Doomsday rumor is exactly what MCU fans have been waiting to hear. Is this true? Is this exactly what we've been waiting to hear? Let's see. This article is the SuperHeroHype.com. The article is written by Brandon Schreur. The latest Avengers Doomsday rumor is exactly what MCU fans have been waiting to hear. Well, what information is that? Marvel Studios' Avengers Doomsday is currently in production, directed by Joe and Anthony Russo, also known as the Russo brothers. The movie will be released in the United States theaters next year. The sequel, Avengers Secret Wars, follows in 2027. How dope is it that two brothers are working on this movie? Can you imagine growing up and, both of these brothers saying to themselves, we want to work on Marvel movies, or we want to work in some kind of way in the comic book industry? I don't know if they specifically wanted to work on movies. I've never really looked into their life that far. What's in the new Avengers Doomsday rumor? Question mark. According to Scooper, Daniel Richmond, Avengers Doomsday will finally wrap filming at some point this week. This is just a rumor that should be taken with a grain of salt at the time, as nobody involved with Avengers Doomsday production has officially confirmed that this is the case. And if it's, let's keep it real. If this is a big rumor, who's going to confirm that this is the case? Nobody's trying to get fired. I guess you could probably, I'm sure they have ways of tracing where the rumor came from. Or here's another thing, and this is just my mind reeling. It's highly possible that Marvel is purposely leaking certain things because they want to generate fan excitement. They want fans to return, and they know we have to throw these people more than just a bone. We have to give them the whole cow, or they're not coming back. And maybe this is their attempt to do that. Who knows? This would, however, make sense as production on Avengers Doomsday officially began in April 2025 and was initially expected to last for approximately 6 months. Several actors have already finished filming their scenes for the Marvel movie, including Pedro Pascal and Alan Cumming. Official details for Avengers Doomsday remain heavily under wraps at this time. I think there's a mix. I think there's some things that are probably kept under wraps, and some things that they're letting out because, again, they want fans to be excited. Okay, let's see. Are they going to get into I hope this article doesn't do all of this and not get into the rumor. In addition to Pascal and Reed as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and Cumming as Kurt Wagner, Nightcrawler, the confirmed cast of Doomsday include Chris Hemsworth as Thor. They're going over the names. Are they really not going to get into what the leak is in this article? That would be actually tragic. Charles Xavier, Avengers, Secret Wars. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. MCU Doomsday rumor is exactly what they did not. This is hilarious. Okay. They didn't really get into it. They went over a bunch of names. I wasn't getting ready to read all of those names over again. Avengers Doomsday arrives in theaters. Yeah, this is odd. That is a odd Okay, so let's go to this other article. When was this written? This was the 14th synopsis revealed Doctor Doom's powers and plans. Yo, this is actually crazy. So let's do this. I'm going to bring it back here and let's see if I can find. Yes, I have my keyboard off to the side because I hate that sound it makes on the microphone when I'm banging on the keyboard. Let's see. Avengers Doomsday rumors. Because I waited all this time. I do not read articles in advance. So I thought for sure this article had the rumors that I was looking for because I'm seeing everybody talk about Avengers Doomsday on my feed and I've been purposely avoiding it. Okay, so it says Avengers Doomsday is generating significant buzz with new rumors suggesting a major multiverse crisis orchestrated by Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom, whose arrival, Doctor Doom's roles, motives, Captain America. Yeah, that's interesting that I don't see anything in this article that actually goes over. Oh man, superherohype.com, you let me down. You really let me down. I got all the way into this article and there was really nothing on here as far as an Avengers Doomsday leak. Why would they do this? That's it. Look, this the first time I've ever had this happen. Typically when I go to articles, it is really good. Let's try one of my other websites. Let's try firstcomicsnews.com. They typically have some pretty good stuff. Let's see. Let's go reviews. I'm going to go news. Let's see. Movie and TV news. Surely there's something here for Avengers Doomsday. I got some HBO, Superman, nothing for Avengers Doomsday. Okay, let's try Cosmic Book News or cosmicbook.news. Cosmicbook.news always seems to have the scoop. Okay, maybe this is it right here. This was recorded today. Okay, so let's go to this article right here. Let's see if we can't redeem ourselves with cosmicbook.news. And it looks like this is the scoop everybody's talking about. Avengers Doomsday rumored to erase everything after Endgame. Yo, look, man, let me tell you, I remember having a conversation. I think it might have been with my son. I said, if I was head of Marvel, what I would do is I would find a way. And I said this, I said the multiverse is the easiest way to do it. People are upset with many of the movies that have come after Avengers Endgame. You already have a multiverse. You already have incursions coming and all of that. You can erase everything that happened after that. Clean slate, start all over, give the fans what they want. So yeah, this actually seems pretty good. Big rumor hits the net suggesting that Marvel may be preparing to rewrite its own history with Avengers Doomsday and erase everything post-Endgame, which has been a big failure from Kevin Feige. This is actually big news. Man, superhero hype. Why didn't y'all have... Maybe there was something wrong with that article. I don't know what was going on. If true, that would include all MCU shows on Disney Plus, such as She-Hulk, Hawkeye, Secret Invasion, and Ms. Marvel. Now look, some of these shows you might like, but these shows did not do what Marvel set them out to do. They did not have the desired effect. And I can understand how moving forward, this would make it extremely hard to give fans what they want because you always have the baggage of these things that fans didn't like. So this actually makes perfect sense, which are confirmed to be big bust as a majority of Marvel fans haven't been interested. Of course, that would also include erasing Feige's Marvel, they call it Marvel flops Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and Captain America, Brave New World. Now, I'm going to tell you what, I think Fantastic Four is a good movie that shouldn't have flopped, but when you lose fan capital, you got to do something drastic. And I said, outside of a public apology to the fans, you almost have to erase everything that came after Endgame. And it seems, look, if they're actually making a move, if the Russo brothers have made a play and they've given them leverage to actually do this, in my humble opinion, this could actually fix Marvel's box office woes. Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, Captain America, Brave New World. To add to that would be flicks like The Marvels, the MCU's lowest grossing movie of all time, starring Brie Larson and Iman Vellani. Quantumania was another big bust. And that's kind of sad because, again, I've said before, I like Quantumania. I thought it was a good movie. Kang was a menacing enemy. Feige's post-game approach has been all about sending the message instead of telling a quality story. Obviously, it hasn't worked out. And look, I have to say, I agree with that. Y'all know I don't get into the rage and complaining, but these are things that I think are objectively true. The info once comes via YouTuber Doomcock. I watch his channel. If you don't, his scoops, look, for as long as I've been watching Doomcock, his scoops are accurate. When he says something, it is rare that it is not true. Now, sometimes it might be a variation of something he said, but he is typically spot on. Who recently reported that Robert Downey Jr. was threatening to quit Avengers Doomsday due to the scripts being so bad. Now, in the new video, the YouTuber goes over recent Avengers Doomsday rumors. According to multiple sources and sources not ours, the new plan for Doomsday is the movie will pick up after Endgame, making all movies and shows after Endgame non-canon. It will pick up the real Captain America and his desire to live a life with Peggy, writing a completely new future. We are still working to get more details about this, so more is coming. Wow. That is, if this is true, this is some of the biggest news in Marvel Cinematic Universe history, in my opinion. If true, this would effectively erase the past several years of Marvel films and Disney Plus shows, resetting the timeline to the point where Steve Rogers stayed in the past with Peggy Carter. Man, this really is big news. And again, SuperHeroHype, what's going on, man? What, that article? Did I not click something? I'm going to have to go back to that article and see what was I missing? Okay, here's the article again, superhero. No, there's not more to the article. It really, I don't understand. I'm completely confused by that. The info lines up with set images that a house is said to belong to Steve Rogers from the 1960s using the on-set code name Luke Cage. Good code name to throw people off the scent. This rumor also lines up with another circulating on X. My Time to Shine Hello posted that Captain America's decision to go back in time with Peggy is the spark that drives Avengers Doomsday. And the rumor has it that when he went back, he set up it set in motion an alternate timeline that created an incursion on Doom's timeline and killed his family, and he's out for blood. That's what I've seen in different places. We'll see whether this pans out or not. If I understand correctly, Steve going back in time with Peggy created an incursion. It's going to talk about it right here. Here it goes. Exactly what I said. That killed Dr. Doom's family. Now Doom is hunting Steve to kill him for what he did, manipulating everyone in his path to achieve it. Yo, this might be fire. Doom set on this path, this might be absolute fire. If Marvel does move forward with this storyline, it would both undo years of unpopular projects and put Chris Evans' Captain America back at the center of the MCU. Look, man, if it works, it works. Recent images of Evans show him jacked as he is thought to be returning as Captain America. Linking Doom's motives directly to Steve Rogers would also raise the stakes for Robert Downey Jr.'s return as Dr. Doom, tying Marvel's new direction back to the most popular character of the Infinity Saga. We also know that the following Secret Wars, the MCU will undergo some sort of reboot, so erasing everything post-Endgame that hasn't been a success does fit with these rumors. It's also known that going forward, the MCU shows on Disney Plus will have no connection with the movies. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that because the prospect of the shows being connected to the movies was exciting, and there is a way that could have been done right, but it's such a big task that you almost have an easier time just having the shows being something completely separate unto themselves. And I think that actually works. Yo, this might actually work. Release info: Avengers Doomsday hits theaters December 18, 2026, directed by Joe and Anthony Russo. The confirmed cast includes, we're not going to read through all of that. Yeah, okay. Cosmic book news to the rescue. SuperHeroHype.com. Oh man, you get some demerits today. That article was not good. I don't know what was going on there. This is exciting. I am color me officially excited for what is to come with Avengers Doomsday.